You can borrow them, use them, practice them, say them out loud, not silently. Your voice matters. English is not a subject, it is a sound, and your mouth must get used to that sound. So you can borrow them, use them, practice them, say them out loud, not silently. Your voice matters. English is not a subject, it is a sound, and your mouth must get used to that sound. But when asked to repeat a line from a show, they said it perfectly. That moment changed everything, because they realized they can speak. They just don't trust it yet. You don't need to create sentences from zero. You don't need a classroom to learn English. You don't need perfect grammar. You don't even need confidence. Not yet. All you need is a story. Because the truth is, people don't remember rules. They remember moments. And today, you're about to step into one. Lesson 1. The first time you hear English in real life, it doesn't sound like the English you learned in school. It feels fast. It feels messy. It feels like people are swallowing words. You sit there thinking, I studied this, so why can't I understand it? That feeling is not failure. That feeling is the beginning. Imagine a small-town student sitting alone in their room, opening a TV show, not for learning, just for fun. But slowly, something changes. The voices stop sounding like noise. One word becomes clear, then another, then a sentence. This is how real English begins. TV shows are not just entertainment. They are living in English. They show how people actually speak, how they joke, how they react, how they feel. And the most important thing, they repeat patterns. In your journey, you are not trying to understand everything. You are training your ears to recognize familiar sounds, just like a child. So today, don't chase perfection. Just listen, and let English enter your world. Lesson 2. Now that you've started listening, something strange happens. You hear a sentence, and you almost understand it. Not fully, but enough to feel something. That almost is powerful. Many learners quit at this stage. They say, I don't understand everything, so it's useless. But that's not true. In fact, this stage is where your brain is working the hardest. Think about how children learn. They don't stop when they don't understand. They keep listening, again and again. Slowly, their brain builds connections. When you watch a TV show, focus on emotion, not perfection. If a character is angry, you understand the tone. If they laugh, you understand the mood. Language is not just words, it is feeling. Try this. Watch a short scene. Don't pause, don't translate, just watch. Then watch it again. This time, listen for one sentence, just one. Repeat it, copy it, feel it. You are not memorizing English, you are becoming familiar with it. And familiarity creates confidence. Lesson 3. Confidence doesn't come from knowing everything. It comes from recognizing something. When you hear a line twice, 3 times, 5 times, suddenly it feels like yours. This is called ownership. In TV shows, certain phrases repeat naturally. Simple lines like greetings, reactions, or everyday responses. These are the building blocks of real conversation. A learner once said, I can't speak English. But when asked to repeat a line from a show, even when no one is asking you anything, you watch a scene and suddenly you think, if I were there, what would I say? That question is powerful, because now English is no longer outside you. It is forming inside you. At first, your responses may feel slow, broken, incomplete. That's okay. Fluency does not begin with perfect sentences. It begins with honest attempts. So pause the scene. Let the character speak, then stop and answer. like a student, like a human. Your answer doesn't need to match theirs. It just needs to be yours. This is where your voice begins. Lesson 17. Now you are stepping into one of the most important skills: reaction speed. In real conversations, people don't give you time to think for 30 seconds. Responses happen quickly, naturally. And this is where many learners freeze, not because they don't know English, but because they are not used to thinking fast in English. So we train for it. Choose a simple scene, watch it once, then play it again, but this time, pause after every question or statement. Respond immediately. Don't wait. Don't search for perfect words. Say the first thing that comes to your mind. It might be simple, it might be incomplete, but it is real. Speed builds confidence, and confidence builds fluency. Lesson 18. Now your listening becomes deeper than ever before. You begin to notice small connectors in speech. Words like, well, you know, I mean, actually. These words don't always change meaning, but they change flow. They make speech sound natural, humans, effortless. Without them, English feels robotic. With them, English feels alive. So now, don't ignore these small words. Collect them, use them, say, well, I think so. You know, it's kind of difficult. I mean, I tried. These are not complex sentences, but they sound real. And real is what matters. Lesson 19. At this stage, your fear begins to change shape. Before you were afraid of understanding. Now, you are afraid of speaking wrong. But here's the truth. Mistakes are not the problem. Silence is. Every fluent speaker you admire made thousands of mistakes. But they didn't stop. They spoke anyway. So now, your goal is not to avoid mistakes. Your goal is to reduce hesitation. Hesitation kills flow. Mistakes build experience. So choose wisely. Speak fast. Speak simple. Speak often. Because fluency is built in motion, not in waiting. Lesson 20. Now something exciting begins. You start recognizing humor. Jokes that once confused you now make you smile. Maybe not instantly, but you get them. And this is a big step. Because humor requires understanding of tone, timing, and culture. It means your English is becoming deeper. So when you watch a funny scene, don't skip it. Study it. Why is it funny? How did they say it? What was the reaction? Then try repeating it. Yes, even the joke. Because humor makes language memorable. And when learning becomes fun, it becomes powerful. Lesson 21. Now your sentences start growing. Earlier you spoke in single lines. Now you begin to connect ideas. I was tired, so I stayed home. I wanted to go, but I changed my mind. These small connections are big progress. Because real communication is not about isolated sentences. It is about flow. So now practice linking your thoughts. Use simple connectors and but, so because. You don't need advanced grammar. You need clarity, and clarity creates confidence. Lesson 22. Now comes a subtle but powerful shift. You start noticing your own voice, not just what you say, but how you say it, your tone, your rhythm, your pauses. And you realize something. You don't need to sound like anyone else. You don't need a perfect accent. You just need to be clear and natural. TV shows are your guide, not your identity. So don't copy blindly. Adapt wisely. Take what helps you, leave what doesn't. Your English should sound like you, because authenticity is stronger than imitation. Lesson 23. At this point, discipline becomes your quiet partner. Motivation started your journey, but discipline continues. There will be days when you don't feel like watching, repeating, or speaking. Do it anyway. Not perfectly, not fully, just a little, because consistency beats intensity. 10 minutes daily is stronger than 2 hours once a week. And over time, these small sessions build unstoppable progress. Lesson 24. Now your brain begins to trust you. Earlier, I doubted every sentence, every word. Now, it allows you to speak without overthinking. This is a big change, because overthinking blocks fluency. So when you speak, don't analyze every word. Let it flow. If something feels wrong, correct it later. But in the moment, just speak. Fluency is not built by stopping. It is built by continuing. Lesson 25. Now take a deep breath. You are halfway through a transformation. Not just learning English, but becoming someone who can live in English. Look at your journey again. You moved from confusion to understanding, from silence to speaking, from fear to action. And now, you are ready for the next level. Because in the upcoming lessons, you won't just react. You will lead conversations. You will express opinions. You will tell stories. You will speak with clarity and confidence. The next phase is powerful. You will learn how to think faster, speak longer, and connect deeper. This is where learners become speakers. Remember, you didn't come this far to stay quiet. You didn't learn this much to stay unsure. You are building something real. So trust your progress. Trust your effort. And most importantly, trust your voice. Because your voice is ready. Lesson 26. Now your English starts becoming personal. Until now, you were reacting to others. But now, you begin to share your own thoughts. Not copied, not repeated, original. You watch a scene, and instead of just understanding it, you form an opinion. I agree with him. I don't think that's right. That was a bad decision. This is powerful, because language is not just about communication, it is about expression. So now, after every scene, ask yourself, what do I think about this? Say it out loud, even if it's simple, because your opinion is your identity in English. Lesson 27. Now comes storytelling, one of the strongest skills in any language. TV shows are full of stories, but now you start creating your own. Watch a short scene, then close your eyes. Retell it. Not perfectly. It's not word by word, just in your own way. At first, they were talking. Then something funny happened. After that, he got angry. This builds flow, because storytelling connects sentences naturally. And when you can tell a story, you can hold a conversation. Lesson 28. Now your confidence faces a real test. Speaking without preparation. Until now, you had time. You paused. You thought. You practiced. But real life doesn't wait. So now challenge yourself. Set a timer for 1 minute. Choose any topic from a scene. And speak. Don't stop. Don't restart. Just continue. Your grammar may break. Your words may repeat. But your flow will grow. And flow is fluency in motion. Lesson 29. Now your listening reaches a new level. You begin to understand conversations even when you miss some words. This is called understanding by context. You don't need every word. You need the message. This is how native speakers listen too. So stop worrying about missing words. Focus on the bigger picture. Who is speaking? What is happening? What is the emotion? And your brain will fill the gaps. Lesson 30. Now something beautiful happens. You start enjoying your progress. Earlier, learning felt like effort. Now, it feels like discovery. You notice improvement. You feel growth. And this creates motivation from within. Not from outside pressure, but from inside satisfaction. This is the strongest kind of motivation. So celebrate small wins. understanding one sentence faster, speaking one line clearly. These are not small. They are steps forward. Lesson 31. Now your conversations begin to expand. You are no longer giving short answers. You add details. I liked it because it was funny. I didn't go because I was tired. This is how conversations grow. Details make your speech interesting. So don't stop at one line. Add one more thought, then one more. And slowly, your English becomes richer. Lesson 32. Now you begin to notice hesitation again, but differently. Not from fear, but from searching for better words. This is growth. It means your brain is upgrading. But don't let it slow you down too much. If the perfect word doesn't come, use a simple one. Communication first. Perfection later. Because clarity is more important than complexity. Lesson 33. Now your emotional connection with English deepens. You don't just understand feelings, you express them. I'm excited. I feel nervous. That made me happy. These simple emotional sentences are powerful because real conversations are built on feelings. So now, after every scene, ask, how do I feel about this? And answer. This makes your English real, not robotic. Lesson 34. Now your brain begins to switch faster. From your native language to English and back. But gradually, English starts taking the lead. You think in English more often. Short thoughts, quick reactions. This is a major transformation because thinking in English removes delay. And when there is no delay, there is flow. Lesson 35. Now pause again. Look at your journey from the beginning. You started with listening, then understanding, then speaking, then expressing. And now you are communicating. Not perfectly, but confidently. And this is what matters. Because communication is the goal, not perfection. And now you are ready for the next level. The next lessons will change everything. You will learn how to handle real conversations, how to respond in unexpected situations, how to speak naturally without thinking too much. This is where you become independent in English. Remember, you are not the same learner anymore. You are stronger, faster, clearer, and most importantly, you are speaking. So don't slow down now. Keep watching, keep speaking, keep growing. Because the version of you who speaks English fluently is already being built. Lesson 36. Now you enter a new reality. You are no longer practicing English. You are using it. There is a difference. Practice feels controlled, safe, predictable. But using English feels real, unplanned, alive. When you watch a scene now, you don't just follow it. You feel ready to step into it. Imagine this. A character asks a question. Instead of waiting, you answer immediately. Not in your head, out loud. This is your moment. You are no longer outside the conversation. You are inside it. And this shift changes everything. Lesson 37. Now you face unpredictability. Not every conversation follows a pattern. People change topics. They interrupt. They react suddenly. And earlier, this would confuse you. But now, you are learning to stay calm. Because you don't need to understand everything instantly. You just need to stay present. If you miss something, don't panic. Focus on what you do understand. Respond to that. Conversation is not a test. It is a connection. And connection doesn't require perfection. Lesson 38. Now your listening becomes selective. You don't try to catch every word. You catch key words, important words, emotional words, action words. This makes understanding faster because your brain stops chasing everything and starts focusing on what matters. Try this while watching a scene. Ignore small words. Catch the important ones. And you'll see. The meaning becomes clear. Lesson 39. Now your speaking becomes more natural. Not because your grammar is perfect, but because your mind is relaxed. Relaxation is the hidden key to fluency. When you are tense, your mind blocks words. When you are relaxed, words flow. So before speaking, take a small pause. Breathe, not to think, but to release pressure. And then speak. Simple, clear, calm. This is natural English. Lesson 40. Now you begin to handle silence. Earlier, silence felt uncomfortable, like failure. But now, you understand. Silence is part of conversation. A short pause is not a problem. It is natural. It gives you space. It gives you control. So don't rush to fill every gap. Take your time. Think for a second. Then speak. This makes your English feel confident, not rushed. Lesson 41. Now your reactions become sharper. You don't just answer, you respond emotionally. That's amazing. No way. I can't believe that. These reactions make your English lively. Because conversations are not only about information, they are about feeling. So use your voice. Use your expression. Let your English show emotion. That's what makes it real. Lesson 42. Now your confidence faces real-world pressure. Background noise, fast speakers, different accents. It can feel overwhelming. But here's what you remember. You don't need to understand everything perfectly. You just need to stay engaged. Ask for repetition if needed. Say, "Can you say that again?" Or, "I didn't catch that." These are not signs of weakness. They are signs of communication. Lesson 43. Now your identity in English becomes clearer. You are not copying characters anymore. You are expressing yourself, your thoughts, your style, your personality. And this is the final goal. Because fluency is not about sounding like someone else. It is about sounding like yourself in English. So trust your way of speaking. It doesn't need to be perfect. It needs to be real. Lesson 44. Now your learning becomes independent. You don't need constant guidance. You know how to learn. You know how to improve. You watch. You repeat. You speak. You reflect. This cycle is yours now. And this is powerful. Because once you know how to learn, you can grow forever. Lesson 45. Now pause for the final time before the last stage. Look at who you were and who you are now. You started with confusion. You moved through doubt. You faced fear. You built courage. And now, you are speaking. You are understanding. You are expressing. This is not a small change. This is transformation. And now, you are ready for the final stage. The last lessons are not about learning more. They are about becoming unstoppable. You will lock your habits, strengthen your confidence, and step fully into your new identity. Remember, you didn't come this far to hesitate. You didn't grow this much to stay silent. You are ready. So step forward. Speak freely. Listen deeply. Express honestly. Because your English journey is no longer a dream. It is your reality. Lesson 46. Now something powerful settles inside you. Not excitement, not pressure, but quiet confidence. You don't feel the need to prove anything anymore. You don't rush to speak perfectly. You simply speak. And that simplicity is mastery. Because true fluency is not loud, it is calm. You understand when to speak. You understand when to pause. You understand how to express without force. And this is the moment where English stops feeling like a second language. It becomes your language too. Lesson 47. Now your journey becomes an example. Not because you are perfect, but because you continued. There are others where you once stood, confused, unsure, silent. And now you can guide them. When you speak, you show what is possible. When you practice, you inspire without words. Because progress is visible, and your journey proves something important. Consistency beats talent. Action beats fear. So never forget where you started, because that memory keeps you grounded. Lesson 48. Now your relationship with mistakes changes forever. Mistakes no longer slow you down. They don't embarrass you. They guide you. When you say something wrong, you notice it. You adjust. You continue. No fear, no pause, no overthinking. This is growth. Because fluent speakers don't avoid mistakes. They move through them. And now, so do you. Lesson 49. Now English has become part of your daily life. Not as a task, but as a habit. You think in English while walking. You react in English while watching. You speak in English without planning. This is natural integration. And this is the real goal. Because language is not something you study forever. It is something you live. Lesson 50. Now, this is your final lesson, but not your ending. This is your beginning. You are no longer someone who is learning English. You are someone who uses English to express, to connect, to grow. And everything you built came from simple steps. Watching, listening, repeating, speaking, again and again. This is your system now, and it will stay with you for life. Close your eyes for a moment. Remember the first day, the confusion, the doubt, the slow understanding. And now open your eyes. Look at yourself. You understand more. You speak more. You feel stronger. This is not luck. This is your effort. And no one can take that away from you. So from today, don't say, I am learning English. Say, I speak English. Not perfectly, but confidently. Not fearfully, but freely. And this is your power. Now take the next step. Watch one scene today. Speak one line today. Express one thought today. And tomorrow, do it again. Because fluency is not a destination you reach once. It is a skill you strengthen every day.